We are Chris and Bex, the Nomadic Crobot, and don't laugh, but we are 2.5 years deep into the project of completely restoring our very first narrowboat after being sold a dud, 2.5 years ago. And then we're going to do the off-skis and hit every single river and canal on the UK network. So currently we're working on the living room, and like I say, we were sold a dud, but this time I de-dudded it. De-dudded it? I dudded it myself. And by that, I mean I turned this beautiful restored living room floor that we'd been working on all summer from this to this chocolatey mess. So we obviously didn't have heating on the narrowboat for a long time, and we feel that the first coat probably didn't dry properly. So now what? Not quite the results we were looking for. It's not terrible, is it? Well, maybe before going in with the belt sander, we should try going in with this bit that you used last time to do the hard skibbing bits.
Chris is such a stealer of ideas. So I come in and I said, I think what we'll do, I've got this bit of a 180 sandpaper and we'll just do a little inconspicuous area to see how it stands up. He quickly grabs the camera, he's like, right guys, I think this is what we should do. It's like, you cheeky bugger.
Yeah, give it a little go with that and see how it comes out.
Himmed properly.
Right then, let's get it all up again.
We need a machine, this will take us forever to do.
So once again, yes, we've got a pretty horrific job on our hands. So yep, you've guessed it, let's attempt to get it all up again. Back to using the really, really heavy thing from Nigel. He was going to come and pick this up tomorrow. Cheers, Nigel. So to do the job, we've got Nigel's really heavy thing, we've got Nigel's belt sander, and we have the mighty Titan that will be sucking up all the excess debris. So we're praying that the belt sander here will do this with relative ease. Treats it like it's her own now, don't she? Straight in there.
Done this before I put my gloves on, shouldn't I? I can't get a grasp of anything. I'm like,
don't take it out on a glove, girl. Masks will be essential for this procedure.
So I'm going to start on an inconspicuous area where would be under the stairs, just to see how this goes before tackling the whole floor.
Right, let's get rid of the chocolatey mess. And yeah, it wasn't looking great, guys. It looks like it's going to take one hell of a long time to get this mess up. I mean, that's barely touched it. Good God. What do you reckon? I mean, this is just the tiniest little bit at the front here, and it's already taken 5 minutes, so we've got this whole floor to do. So the last video we put up was the Christmas party. Now, we quickly rushed that out because we just wanted to get it out in time for Christmas. So this footage here and the process of sorting all this out actually happened the week before the Christmas party. Sorry if that's a bit confusing, guys. So while yours truly will be concentrating on this horrendous mess, Becca will be sorting out the other mess on the narrowboat. And that is the final 3 tiles to our stove. And then she's onto the intricate grouting procedure. One hour later. Good little crowbot. Hey, who says I'll never do anything? So the sanders are only really picking up all the messy, oily gloop, really. They're not even sanding anything. So you get about 30 seconds from each pad. So my plan is to move on to the orbital sander, get the majority of the waxy oil off, and then move on to the belt sander for a sort of deeper sand later on in the episode. Great. But then out of nowhere, it actually made the floor look really, really cool. I mean, this is the sort of floor I like. Sort of all rusticy, bits a bit lighter, bits a bit darker. I mean, I love it. The problem is, I've done this now. I've already taken off sort of 30% of the floor. Do I go over that again with the chocolatey mess and then bring it back to looking something more like this, or do I just keep going and just take the rest off and start from fresh? Yeah, you've guessed it. I'm going to start from fresh. Lovely. But it is coming off slowly. And then hopefully that will prepare it and get it nice and ready for going in hard with the belt sander. sort this mess out.
Right, I'm on it.
You sort that mess out while I sort your mess out. Down here, I've been sorting all Bex's mess out.
If anything goes wrong, it's my fault. Like, it's, you know, the fact that he also painted the floor doesn't come in as a factor. It's just, it's my fault.
Yeah.
Oh.
We can't let him win. Finally, she's going to do it, guys. She's going to get this final panel on, aren't you? Does stuff go this wrong, like in general, on your guys' narrowboats? Because we keep on pulling the short straw on like everything. So this brings us back to our narrowboat stove that we ripped out 3 months ago for a complete refit. Summer had turned into winter on this narrowboat during these 3 months, and it had got really, really cold. And just as we'd started making progress with getting all the tiles on, we sprung across the last tile in the pack. Surprise, surprise, having some huge scratches and gouges running through it. So that put us back roughly a month because I just didn't have them in stock and we kept getting messed about a bit. In the end, thankfully though, the company did send us one out, and that's what Bex will be concentrating on today. Here we go, the famous grout run. You'll never see a girl happier. So fingers crossed Bex can get those last 3 panels on today while I concentrate on the floor, but after that she intends to grout the whole area. Yeah, she's at it again. She's always up here touching these little bags of grout. She's got this weird fascination. Feel nice? Again, we'll be using Becca's dad's tile cutter. I will be helping by holding the tiny little knobbly bit on the end, while Bex pushes the tile towards the dangerous blade and gets soaking wet in the process. Oh, that makes your hands ache, doesn't it?
At least I can say I've had a wash today. Jeez.
She's still dribbling. When Becca said she wanted chocolate mousse for pudding, we didn't mean get it on the floor. We wanted it in our tummies. My jokes are the best, aren't they? So we've got the main sticky parts of the oil up. I think now going over it with the belt sander might make it a bit easier.
So the time has finally come that we can complete the tiling on the fireplace. The tiles are finally cut to finish this little section right here. So I'm going to mix up my adhesive and get those bad boys on there. So looking forward to seeing it sort of complete. Chris is going to be sanding.
Hopefully this should now, with the belt sander, come up nice and quickly. But that's just fingers crossed. I don't have a bloody clue, to be honest. And yes, finally we're starting to see some progress here. While I'm doing that, Bex is going to be finally getting these last 3 panels up of our narrowboat stove. Yeah, maybe not as easy as first thought, but it is coming up. So we are getting there slowly, guys. More importantly, check out the fireplace. We finally have our full set of tiles up here, and then after the grouting, we've still got to sort out this hole at the top here on the ceiling too. So time to hand over to Bex for the grouting procedure. We've got all these gaps in between the slate tiles and also on the half in between the quarry tiles to do.
The time has come for grouting.
What's your favourite thing about grout?
The end result. Right, so after about 7 hours of stirring my grout mixture, it's finally ready.
Half grouting procedure completed.
So by the time I'd finished grouting the hearth last night, I was running low on grout, and also it started to really get quite stiff, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to leave the slate tiles and do them in the morning. The grouting is finished! Yes! I have to say though, it was starting to get a bit bum squeaky time because the amount of grout that I'd mixed up was literally just enough. I was sort of getting closer and closer to the end thinking, oh my god, is it going to be enough to make it? It's really difficult because you get these massive bags of grout and there's all the ratios for mixing it on the back. Anyhow, we made it to the end. As you can see, it's still drying off at the minute, and once it's fully dry I'll wipe off the sort of leftover powdery residue that you sort of can see on some of these. But yeah, there we go. All grouted up, baby.
Okay, so last little sand on the living room floor here. All that horrible chocolatey, oily mess is now up, and we are ready to start the procedure of doing it properly. You learn from your mistakes, so a valuable lesson learnt here. And we haven't lost a great deal really, apart from a ton of sanding pads and a little bit of time. It's all about learning and how to be better at these sort of jobs. We're thinking next time we might just try it with one coat, because we do quite like the darker colour, but just not that dark. But we'll do it once the stove's blaring, so we can get a bit of heat on here to actually help it dry, because I think that was one of the main problems. While I spent those days on the floor, Bex has been incredibly busy sorting out the stove area. Great teamwork really, because we both had our independent jobs that we were getting on with on the Narrowboat. The stove area is really coming into a life of its own now. It is starting to really take shape and look incredible. Next up, we've got the mess in the Narrowboat ceiling to sort out, because again, yes, this was very illegal, but I'm sure Bex has got some tricks up her sleeve.